Hi, I'm Iklaq Sidhu. I'm the director of UC Berkeley's Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology. At the 2012 DiabetesMine Innovation Summit at Stanford University this November, I talked with a number of diabetes patients and diabetes decision makers about the future of open models for diabetes healthcare. The state of diabetes data and software today is anything but open. In fact, it's vertical, it's closed, it's proprietary, and it's not standardized. This is what it looks like at the physician's office or the home of the patient. And why is this a problem? The problem is that it stops people from using the technology. This data from the consultancy Closed Concerns shows just how few people actually get data out of their meters. This research from T1D Exchange shows just how few people actually download data from their devices. In fact, 68% of people never download data from their fingerstick glucose meters, and 43% never download from continuous glucose monitor devices, even though they take the trouble of wearing these devices 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Meanwhile, there's a serious shortage of healthcare providers to work with diabetes patients in the US. In fact, it's just a small fraction of what we need. And we know that doctors and patients don't have sufficient time to work together. Technology can help, but how do you get patients to use it? There are lessons that we can learn from successful diabetes therapies and from the information technology industry. Why are DPP-4 drugs like Januvia and Tradjenta so successful? Because they're easy, low hassle, and not a lot of barriers to getting started using them. And they're standardized, so they pretty much all work the same way. And all of these things improve the chances for success and would be great characteristics for diabetes technology. So we can also learn a lot from the information technology industry, which also went through a process of converting from a proprietary and vertical industry to one that is now open. In fact, in the 70s, you would say that the industry, the computer PC industry, was vertical, proprietary, and closed. And it was in the 80s that IBM realized that they were late to this market, and their only method of really getting into the market was to create an open architecture. And this created a lot of demand for this new and emerging industry. And interestingly enough, in the 90s, IBM actually tried to go back to a proprietary version, and it turns out that they were unsuccessful in being able to do that. And what are the takeaways from the information technology case? First of all, open standards, it will happen. It's usually demanded by the customers. 2, it really only takes one single player to change the landscape of the whole industry, as we saw with the IBM example in the 80s. And 3, the change is irreversible once it happens, again with the example of IBM, but now in the 90s. The introduction of open standards caused a huge boom in the information technology industry. If you look at what were the drivers of mass adoption here, it's really first the conversion from a vertical closed to an open standard industry, and really this gave a lot of power to the users of computer industry. And then a second driver was the networking, computer networking and internetworking between computers, and finally access to mobile data networks and effectively making computing devices mobile. And these ideas, the idea of going from vertical, closed, proprietary to open, the idea of interconnecting devices and sharing data, and the ideas of mobility, these are the imperatives for the future of the diabetes care industry. And there is progress that's being made in the diabetes world. There are downloading and data sharing services that are coming to market, like DiaSend, which shares your glucose data with your provider, and SweetSpot, which is another sharing service, but it's more community-oriented as an approach. And we're seeing new glucose meters with wireless communication capabilities like IBG Star and TelCare. And it's pretty clear that the future of diabetes tools requires automatic, wireless transmission, and standardization is going to be key to getting there. It's going to take a community effort for us to get to these types of solutions. Let me suggest some questions for us to all think about. How will standards improve patient care? What's holding up the standards development process now? Why don't more patients use the technology tools that are available to them already? And the big question, what's the biggest problem with obtaining and interpreting diabetes data now? And what should be the ideal solution? Thank you, and if you have ideas to share, please contact info@diabetesmine.com.